the shots. Now this should sound familiar to this health board since you have been presented with a similar document, although nobody has heard anything about it.
Thank you, Kim.
Thank you.
Anyone else in the audience?
I don't say anything. Words.
Yep. Do you mind going
Yep.
to the, oh, thank you.
Hello, my name is Dominic Bonney, and I'm from Chelan County. And I'm not here to make a statement as much as ask the questions that most of you have not answered over the last 7 days, and to demand the transparency the public deserves. On August 5th, Bill Sullivan, right here in front of me, allegedly assaulted a local man on Wenatchee Avenue near the Lyles Motel. That man recorded the altercation and put the video online, which you know because I have sent it to all of you. As I understand, Sullivan received unanimous approval by both Douglas and Chelan County commissioners in his appointment to the Chelan-Douglas Health Board of Directors. So I wanted to see if the county commissioners in this room condone or support Sullivan's actions. If not, will any action be taken in this matter? I sent a similar email to all the board members here today, and it was Mayor Crawford alone who got back to me after consulting with your legal counsel. While members of the public and the press should expect a response from the public servants elected to and appointed to serve them, the response I got was woefully inadequate. The event in which you mention is not a health district related matter, quote, and therefore there is no comment. Then a copy and pasted line from your website about what the board and district does, and finally admission that there is no code of conduct for board members. That is frankly unbelievable. It strains credulity that kids on a high school football team are held to a higher standard than you. It's baffling. The man Sullivan allegedly assaulted is a resident of Chelan County and therefore in the region that you serve. It seems like assaulting somebody is pretty much the opposite of protecting or promoting their health, which according to your website is something you're supposed to do. If any of you assault a local citizen, how is that not a concern for this board? If you are merely accused of it, how is that not a concern for this board? If Sullivan or any other board member were to be convicted of a crime, would you be allowed to serve from prison? It makes no sense. The fact that there's no code of conduct for you, the board members, is ludicrous. It's baffling that kids who play on a football team in high school just down the street have more of a standard than you guys. Regardless of Sullivan's anti-vaccine activism and his hyperfixation on the subject to the exclusion of basically the rest of the business that you're supposed to be doing at the expense of the taxpayer, regardless of this illogical crusade, he should be held to a standard. If he's putting hands on citizens without their consent in public, no less, he should be held accountable. Thank you.
Madam Chair, may I ask
No.
I think this is...
We typically, and this has been a practice I think that we do in all government, we don't respond to public comment. People have the right to say whatever they want to say, and this is not a time for dialogue.
Madam
This
Chair,
is a time
it's a
for
simple
them.
question, and there is precedent. There's members of this board that ask members of the public questions for amplification on what they're saying. It's a simple question. It's not combative.
No, a question is dialogue, and unless this board chooses, and this is actually coming later on in our conversation today, this has been the practice to not have dialogue. So unless, I would rather have a majority of a vote to have discussion, because our practice has not been to have discussion.
So it's your position that no member of the board is allowed to ask the public when they're making comments, any questions?
That has been the general practice.
That has not been the precedent.
Legal counsel's trying to make a comment.
I'm sorry, I didn't see your go ahead,
Okay.
please, Eric.
No, I will just make a recommendation. This is the opportunity for public comment and for them to comment on whatever they want. As Mayor Crawford said, it's not the opportunity for a dialogue. I will point out regarding this particular comment, It does not necessarily involve the business of the Board of Health. As I understand it, there's an allegation against you.
There is, correction, there is no allegation. The allegation is from
Please
Dominic
let
Bonnie.
her finish, please let her finish.
But that's, an allegation is only that. It's only someone alleging something happened. It's not a conclusory issue, it's not a conclusion of fact. Until there is a conclusion of fact that this board may consider, my recommendation is that we do not address this.
Thank you. Unless there is a motion for something different today, I would rather that we stick with our practice that we've been doing.
Madam Chair, I have witnessed Commissioner
I
Sutton
would-
ask
If
members
there's
of
a
the
motion
public.
on the table, I will entertain a motion.
Wait, so we have
If you
to,
have
we
a
can
motion.
only converse with each other in terms of motions? Is
I
that the
think
way
if you're
a board
looking
should
to,
function?
this is not board discussion, this is public comment time.
Right, and so I was simply asking an amplifying question of the person making the public comment. I think that's reasonable.
I would move that we continue with public comment.
I second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second for us to continue with public comment. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, we will continue with public comment. Anyone else in the audience who would like to make public comment?